One turn to the right, followed by two to the left, or one turn to the left, followed by two to the right.
Let's set that Clover being barrel pattern ways must make one right-hand turn, two left-hand turns. Take it one left, two right. Take it mark and flip it, rock it, bucket, do all in one as long as that barrel doesn't hit the ground.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Cloverleaf Chats. I'm your host, Sheridan Shumpert, and today I am here with the incredibly talented Bailey Fowler. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. All right, so to start off, just kind of let people get to know you. What are a couple of your biggest accomplishments, just so kind of people get to know you?
I mean, I haven't really ever won something big, but, I got youth reserve champion at Ruby Buckle. I've made, top 30 out of 1,500 people, but that's about it.
Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we have the people on social media ask questions, so we're going to do, kind of quick-fire questions.
Okay.
We got 20 of them, and then after that, I've got some other stuff I'm going to ask you. Okay, so quick-fire questions. First one, favorite thing about running barrels?
Whenever you finally get to do good, because barrel racing sucks when you're sucking, but when you do good, it's very rewarding.
That is true. All right, how old were you when you started running barrels?
Oh, I've been doing it my whole life.
Favorite arena and why?
It's at Waco. It's the side pin at Waco. I like it because, I've always done good in there, and the ground is never really that bad. So.
Is it ever too late, in your opinion, to start running barrels?
No, I have a friend. She's nearly 50, and she started 2 years ago.
When is Cobra's first run?
Oh, it's at VFA. I think it's November 21st that morning.
Okay, let me look. What tips to get out of a slump?
A slump? Look at the bright side, because, 3 years ago, you didn't have the stuff you have now, and you do look at other people and see them winning, but you have to be grateful for what you have.
Okay, what motivates you to ride?
Because I don't want to lose.
How do
That's
you
it.
fix bad riding habits?
Oh, I mean, repetition. You got to just get out of the habit by doing something different.
When did you get your first horse?
Oh, I've always had a horse. I don't think I've ever spent a day in my life where I didn't have a horse.
How many horses do you own?
Oh no. I think it's 8 at the moment. It's not that many, but.
What are your goals for when you're older?
I don't really have any. I mean, of course, do all the big stuff, like the American. Hopefully you make it there one day, but I'm really just going to focus on futurity. That's what I want to do right now.
What race did you win your first buckle on Wayne at?
I think it was Ruby Buckle in 2022 in the average.
Have you ever had to deal with burnout?
I mean, to a certain degree, everybody has, but yes, I have.
Okay. What are your best memories with Wayne and Harper?
Harper, our third run, we went and ran top 5 at Oklahoma City. That was fun. Wayne, probably when I finally got him after running him for about 6 months, I finally got to own half of him.
Right, yeah. So what's your pre-run routine? What do you do to get ready?
Well, I'm never really nervous anymore, but when I was nervous, I'd get off and run around. But now I kind of just get there an hour before I run. I get on 3 drags before I run and warm up in that time because Wayne is just easy nowadays. And then we just lope some circles. That's about it.
What do you do when you aren't riding?
A lot of school. I didn't stop for summer, so.
What are your tips for starting a young horse?
Oh, don't ask me. I don't know. Make sure that they're broke enough to go on the pattern. Well, not broke, but have fundamentals of barrel racing down so you don't have to go back and do it while you're doing the barrels. That's what I had to do a couple things on Cobra, and it would have been a lot easier if I just did it beforehand.
Right. Okay. Favorite saddle brand?
Oh, Robbie Phillips. I like their brand a lot.
tips on shouldering horses.
Oh, man, if I know. Always just keep your shoulder up when you're doing drills. And I am not the person to ask that because I've never really had to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I'd figure it out if I had to.
Yeah. Biggest race you've ever ran in?
I mean, I've been all everywhere, but probably the American semifinals. That was pretty big.
Yeah. Okay. So that is all social media questions. Now we're to kind of some ones that I came up with to ask you. So horses in your barn and how they're bred. So all of them and how they're bred.
Okay. I'm just going to do the ones that I can ride because I have too many to name. So Strigal Wayne, he's by Striga Fling out of Ladybug Bianca's. He's 10 years old. Then Justice Slick Design, Harper. She's by Slick Ride Design out of Just a Sexy Woman, I believe. And then She's So Epic, my 3-year-old Cobra. She is by Epic Leader out of Royal High Return, who is by Royal Shake'em. And then I'm about to get Flows Before Bros, Flossie, in a month, I think. And she's by Winner's Version out of Flo's Knickknacks from Fallon Taylor.
Alrighty. Goals for the rest of 2024 and 2025.
Oh, goodness. I really just want to, focus on Cobra, getting her finished, and then futuring her. I have no expectations for her, but I hope she does good. And then I want to, finally figure Harper out, at least have a good run on her.
Right.
And then get her qualified for the Junior Patriot next year.
Yeah, I gotcha. Weekly workout routine for your horses.
So Wayne, he really doesn't have to do a lot. I just usually ride him in a different bits than he runs in to get him moving and move his feet. And then we do a lot of lawn trotting and pattern and pastures, and then I'll just lope him collected. Harper, I don't lope her. We do a Harper once. I don't tell her what to do. I don't pick a fight with her. I try to let her do her own thing. She decides when we start trotting, when we stop trotting. It's just how it goes. And then Cobra, she's pretty easy. I warm her up a little bit, not too much so she's not too tired for the barrels. But then I'll, do the drills on the barrels, lope her around after that to get her done.
Yeah, I gotcha. So what are your favorite drills to work on your horses?
Well, what I do on her is really just, getting her to move up. Her next level is to go faster. So what I'm doing now is I move to a single rein from split reins, and I bounce back and forth between those sometimes. But I will usually keep her collected, have pretty good amount of inside rein where you see the outside corner of the inside eye. And then you'll go around the barrels a couple times, and then you put her in and make her finish it quickly. And then she's pretty hard to make switch leads because she just wants to go fast. So usually I'll have to do a big circle around the second and then move her in, and I'll do that. And then I'll lope her through and then fix whatever I just did and wrong in the lope through because it's inevitably going to go wrong.
Okay.
I don't do a whole bunch of drills, though. I just do what the horse needs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let me look here. What are your haul-in tips? So, what are your things to keep your horses comfortable on the road?
I use a lot of CEP products. I do the Cool It gel, and I put it on their legs about an hour before they run and after I wash them off and run. I do mud and, poultice. I'll put that on every time we haul. And then Accelerate sheets. I use those every time we haul. Everybody has one. I just got that Beamer, so they get that usually right before they run and then after. And sometimes when we go to a race, there's this lady with a horse spot, and we put them in every single day before they run and after they run. Got that from Trisha because she's very extra with everything. I don't do a whole bunch besides because you don't want to give them too much, and I usually stick to routine because if you do too much, they'll freak out for mine.
Right, yeah. I agree. Sometimes people overdo it and change things on them at the show, and it's
exactly.
It kind of freaks them out.
Yeah, when you have a routine, you stick to it if it's working.
Oh, for sure. What are your tips for horses with gait issues?
Gait issues? So usually let them throw their little fit, they'll usually go in. So you can't don't start beating on them unless you really have to get them in. Just let them bounce around, and then they usually calm down and go in. And you can always use a sedative, but never much. It's like ACE, that's not bad. You can it makes them calmer before they run.
Right. Okay. Who's your performance horse, Vet?
Double X Equine, Dr. Donnelly. He is great. I've used him forever, even before he went and got his own brand. He worked for someone else, and we used him there.
I gotcha. Okay, this one is one I just exclusively came up with for you because I know you have a lot. How many rodeo shirts do you have?
Oh my gosh, I counted them the other day. It's like 40. I have too many.
Oh my gosh.
And I just bought another one.
I knew it was going to be a lot.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. It takes up a whole row in my closet.
That's funny. No, gotta love rodeo shirts, man.
Yeah. You can't. I don't like to look bland.
No, why would you? Why would you look bland when you could look gorgeous?
Unless it's not your girl.
Yeah. Farthest you've ever hauled to go to a race?
Oh, I live in North Texas, so I went to Nebraska and then Kansas one weekend about a year ago. That's the farthest I went. But this coming year, my mom said we're going to go to a couple big shows up in Colorado or somewhere for the Colt.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Okay,
let me see. Favorite run you've ever made?
Oh, gosh. I don't really know. It's probably that one I just made at Will Rogers that Wayne took the lead in the slack, and he finished top 15, and I think it was a Cowgirl Gathering. It's the video I sent you too.
Oh yeah. Okay. What is your rig to go to the barrel race? What's the brands and everything, all that?
So the one we take to overnight stuff is a Twister 5-horse. It's a bumper pool. I don't have living quarters. We take our toter home and then put the Twister behind it. But if we just go to a jackpot, I think it's a Featherlight 6-horse trainer's trailer.
I gotcha. Okay, let me see. How many days a week do you ride each horse?
I usually give them 1 or 2 days off a week. Depends. And if it rains, it switches up. But I do give them plenty of days off because I do work them pretty hard.
Right. What are your favorite therapies to do on your horses, to keep them feeling good and everything?
Trisha just got this red light therapy, and she gave us one when my horse got a little splint in its little leg. So I've had that ever since, and I do that a lot. It's from Accelerate, and then I beamer them a lot, and that's really it. I don't have a bunch of stuff like that. And we do active scope them sometimes because my mom's childhood friend, she does that for a living now. So we do have her come over some. And then, of course, a chiropractor.
All right. Do you give Lasix or any other drugs?
Yes, we give Lasix to every horse, 5 cc's, 4 hours out. And some horses, they get butane and Dex. Most of them that are running in a top competitive, they get that. And butane and Dex are usually kind of like an Advil if you really think about it. Makes their joints better, and Lasix, opens up their airways.
Right, obviously. You gotta love Lasix.
Oh, yes. I'm scared to not use it.
Yeah. What bits do you run each horse in, or ride each horse in?
Harper, I just switched to a Petska with a couple of links extra on the curb chain. I didn't run in it for the first year I had her. I was in a Sharon Hall bit, but Trisha ran her once or twice, and she said we'd switch it to that. And then Wayne runs in an L&W chain combo, and I'm going to buy the one without the noseband because he doesn't need it anymore because I finally can deal with him.
Right.
And then I just ride Clover and a Petska as well.
I got you. You like Petska, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's like Trisha's trademark.
What's your favorite brand of jeans?
Sevens. I like those. And then I like Ariats a lot.
Yeah.
Those are the most
Do you prefer to run your horses in the summer or the winter?
Oh, right in the middle, like in November, when it's about to get real cold. I don't like hot. I don't like cold. I like hoodie weather.
Just the medium. No,
Yeah.
I'm that way too. I'm like, can we just do like 70 all the time?
Right.
It would be so much better. How many
I don't
buckles
enjoy
do you have?
Girl, I don't know. I think it's around 20 now, but I haven't counted them in a while.
Yeah. Foals on the ground and foals on the way. How are they bred and everything?
So we have 2 foals on the ground from this year. They were born just a couple months ago. The first one that was born, his name is Knockout. His registered name is Winners Get Chicks. He is by Winner's Version, I believe, out of K&N First Lick Chick, my mare Smooch. And then the other one is Overtime. We haven't registered him yet because I kind of can't pull DNA samples from him yet because he's crazy. But he is by Adios Pantalones out of Beaches in Dubai. It's my mom's 4-year-old horse, and she is a Goodbye Lane. And then the 2 I have on the way are both by Adios, and one is by She's So Epic, my mare Cobra, and then the other is Smooch, K&N First Lick Chick.
What are your favorite saddle pad brands? What is your go-to to put on a horse?
Oh, the 3S Equine. I just got one, and then I ordered 2, but they haven't showed up yet. I really like those. I stole one from Trisha, and I really liked it, so then I bought some of my own.
That sounds like me and my sister. I steal stuff from her, and I'm like, I need one of these.
Right?
What's your favorite barrel race to run at?
Oh, I don't know. I like a lot of them. Definitely with, how I said that arena at Waco I really like, but I definitely love the facility at, Lazy E, so, Ruby and Pink Buckle.
I love Lazy E.
Yeah. And I love a big patterner.
Right, and Lazy E is usually big, even when they don't set the standard.
Right.
Okay, do you use front leg boots or front and back leg boots, and why do you use one or the other?
So I only use front leg boots. I have found that front boots really don't do much. So if I'm going to put something on back, it's going to be polo wraps, because to me, all they do are a protection cover of the leg. They don't give much support at all. They really are just there for protection, and it makes them hotter. So why would I add on to the back if I don't need it on the back? But that's just how I found it. And then, of course, I use bell boots.
Right. Okay, let me see. Rodeos or barrel races?
Oh, I am not a rodeo girl. Barrel races are my jam. Unlike you.
I like the rodeo.
Yeah, we're opposites here.
What's your estimated LTE? Do you have a rough estimate?
I think it's around now 90,000. I haven't checked my Equistat in forever, and they hardly ever add anything in Equistat nowadays, because most of the stuff online is other places.
Sometimes it's so hard to even tell, because a lot of the time Equistat doesn't have anything. They don't.
Right.
Sometimes they don't update it because it's up to the producer to send it in, and sometimes they don't.
I've always put every single thing I've ever won into my nose strap. So every single horse I've ever run has one of those nose straps, and it's everything they've won with me. So that's how I keep up with it. But of course, I haven't added it together.
Right. That's the only accurate way to do it with the way Equistat is and everything, because if it doesn't get turned in, it doesn't get turned in.
Yeah.
And there is nothing you can do about it.
Right. I think you can turn it in, but then you have to get the document from the producer, and that's pretty time consuming.
Like try to get the results, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have another stallion after, like with Wayne and everything, like would you have another one or would you just keep it to him?
I would, but that would be a long time from now. Because I love Wayne and I love him, but I don't want to deal with another stallion. They aren't fun, and people who say they're fun are lying. I don't want to have to tie on a different side of the trailer and then put 2 holes in between the other horse if you're trying to haul a mare. That's not fun.
Right.
But
No.
later on, I know I will have another stallion, but there won't be another one while Wayne is alive.
All right. Favorite stallion besides Wayne, obviously, like favorite breeding stallion.
Right. I really like Epic Leader, and I'm kind of biased because I love my mare, but I love all his offspring, and then, of course, Trey Safe, Adios' daddy. Those 2 are some of the best that I've seen.
Right. You gotta love Trey Safe, man.
Oh, right.
He's amazing. Okay. Let me see here. Colts or finished horses?
See, the thing is, with finished horses, you have to figure out how to ride them. And sometimes that is harder than training a colt. That's how I'm struggling with Harper, because I know how to do it, but I don't. Cobra, I'm going to know how to ride her for the rest of her life because I'm the one who puts this program on her. So,
so you're going to know everything.
It depends on the horse. But I definitely love riding my colt, and I like building it because sometimes you do get bored when you have a finished horse and then y'all are together and you're just making the same run over and over. And I do get bored sometimes with that, so that's why I wanted a colt and wanted to start my futurity program. So definitely both.
Okay, let me see. I'm looking. I have a whole list here, and I'm trying to, look. Okay, best story you've ever had come out of barrel racing, just a fun story that you like telling.
Oh, so one time at Lazy E, I was running out, and I had a really good run, and my mom was on the left side and kind of in the way, so Wayne saw it and was like, oh my gosh, we can't hit Mom. So he ran into the fence instead, and I hit the fence and came off.
Oh, no.
And then he was trying away, and then the announcer called me up there, and I had to talk to the announcer about it because he knew who I was.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
So that was fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of doing social media?
Oh, everybody is so sweet. When, of course, there's the exceptional trollers, but everybody is so encouraging. So whenever you do feel like you're in a rut, you can go read those, and you can see how much of an impact you put on other people's lives.
Do you like running to the left or to the right more?
Oh, I like lefties a lot, actually. But, I'd ride a purple donkey that goes backwards if it won. So.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, whatever works. That's what I always say. Someone's like, do you care about conformation? I'm like, to an extent, but I don't care how it looks if it can go fast.
Right. If I can win on it, I'll ride it.
Right? Like, they don't always have to be amazingly bred, beautiful. Like, if they can win, I'll ride it.
Exactly.
Do you like split reins better or single reins?
See, split reins, you have a little more control of both sides of the horse. Single reins, that's more higher level, and you can just sit up there, but I only put a single rein on them when they're ready. But I definitely like split reins so I can have lateral movement everywhere, and I can put them where they need to be. With a single rein, you're kind of just holding the inside rein and hoping they go where you ask them to. But with a split reins, I can kind of put them where they need to be until they're a little further ahead.
Yeah, I gotcha. Do you like jackpots or bigger races?
Oh, bigger races. I definitely enjoy those more when it's not crazy hot. Because jackpot, the only reason I go to a jackpot is if I'm trying to figure something out. So
Right.
I'm not going to go to a jackpot to try to go and win it. I'm going to go to the jackpot because,
right.
yeah. So when I go to a jackpot, it's more to just figure out a problem. I don't really go to a jackpot, win it. I go to fix something for the next big race.
To play around with things.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see. Do you like raising your horses or buying them?
So every horse I've ever raised, I have never kept them until they were old enough to ride. So I know that usually when I breed them, I'm not going to keep them. I breed them and then I usually sell them. So I definitely like buying a horse, but usually when they're like around 2 or a yearling, that's how I've done it. Yeah.
Right, because then, like you said, you get to know them while they're young.
Right. Yeah. And I don't like the whole halter breaking babies. Some people do.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of just a pain, but I do love my babies.
Okay, let me see. What is something you think a lot of people look over running barrels, like that they just kind of skip over that's an important step,
Well, a lot of people think you run in there and then you pull instead of setting your horse up with a technique and then just holding the inside rein. I see a lot of that, but riding with people like Trisha my whole life, I've always recognized the difference between them, professional trainers, and some people that don't know as much, but that's nothing on them. You can see when they run, they're just kind of going as fast as they can and then pulling. Whereas I see like Jolene and Cassie and all of them, they're riding up to their spot and then holding all the way around.
Mhm.
So it's a bunch of the technique instead of just go fast.
Right. So do you like track bred, cow bred, or barrel bred better?
Oh, barrel bred. I don't really want to have to like break a track horse or anything like that.
No, that just sounds so intimidating. Like it's off the track. Ah!
Yeah.
That just sounds terrifying.
Scary. But
I don't know. I would like. Oof.
Yeah. I'm definitely a fan of the barrel horse.
Yeah. So what are your horse's quirks? Do they have little quirks about them, and what are they?
Oh, Harper, she is full of them. She is a little crazy, but it's okay because I love her. So I can't put a blanket on her without letting her know I'm going to put the blanket on her, even though she can see it in my hand. So I have to, like, pet her with it. And then Cobra, she doesn't like cold water. She don't like it. She don't like taking baths with cold water, only warm water. Back to Harper. She, of course, I haven't loped her in about a year. Like, I do not lope that mare. I don't need to get her worked up. And then when he has literally talked to a statue of a horse, so that was fun to find out that he doesn't discriminate.
Where were you at with the statue?
That was the Patriot.
Oh, at Will Rogers. Yes, because they have all those big statues. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Stallions, man.
Yeah, they're funny.
So what's it like getting to haul with your mom and go places with her and everything?
Oh, I love my mom. She is so fun, and she's not a fan of hauling, but she told me she'll start doing it soon. She's always helping. She's always doing something, whether it's cleaning stalls or, talking to people. She's always doing something, which is great, because when I'm tired, she's helping me.
Right. So what do you feed them? What do you feed your horses? What are their supplements? Everything like that.
You're going to laugh. It's literally just alfalfa.
Hey, I mean, whatever works.
That's all my horses eat. If I need to put some weight on them, they'll get Ultium grain, the blue bag, but that's literally it. They only eat alfalfa.
Yeah, mine pretty much just eat alfalfa, and they get some Equine Senior, like the Purina stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Very simple, very easy, and they look great. You know, sometimes I dunk some Equinety on their feet and call it enough.
Yeah. Along with that, I also treat my horses with EPM at least once a year. Treat them for EPM. Because
for sure.
I've
never know.
Right. Like, I just did Harper and Clover a month ago, and Wayne was last year, and he's doing this year, too.
Yeah, I always treat mine at least once a year, sometimes twice if they need it.
Right, exactly.
Because you never know when they have it, and it causes so many issues, and it never presents the same in different horses. So then you're, like, trying to get it to, you know, be the same, and sometimes people miss it because it doesn't present the same.
Yeah, and EPM, that can be scary.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm trying to see. Have you ever run poles?
I have. I sucked. I was really bad at it. Oh.
Girl, I wasn't good at poles either.
Yeah, I'm a barrel racer, not a pole bender.
Yeah, I don't like poles. There was just so many. There were too many obstacles.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. What's your favorite coat color?
Coat color? I like Palominos. I think they're just so pretty.
Oh, I love Palominos.
When their hair is like white, it's really pretty. I love it.
What do you look for in prospects? Like when you're looking at a horse that you want to buy to make into a barrel horse, kind of what do you look for?
So I've always just looked at their feet. I don't really look for prospects. Trisha will buy a horse, and then my mom will be like, "Oh, I want it." So then she gets it, and that's usually that's how I've gotten every single horse so far besides Harper. It's so funny. Because, like, Trisha owned Cobra, of course, Wayne. She owned Flossie for a little bit. So I'm like, every horse I've really ever had came from her for years.
Right, just get it from her.
She has the eye, and she teaches me a lot. So, but she's the one who can see from a 2-year-old that it can be a good horse.
So when you get a new horse in that maybe didn't come with a bit or anything, you know, like they didn't send it with its headgear, what's your go-to bit? Like that's what you're going to put them in?
Depends on what I've seen with the horse, but sometimes an O-ring. With the other horses, I put on a Flaherty slow twist. I like that a lot. And then of course, after you ride them a couple times, you finally figure out what you need. But it's usually an O-ring or a Flaherty.
Yeah, O-rings have always been, you know, they're just like good starting places.
Yeah, to see how it feels.
See how it feels and see what you need to change and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a brand that you to put on your horses, or would you ever get one?
I don't have one, but I definitely want one. I will once I'm a little further, because right now I don't feel the need to brand my horses.
Right.
Because half of them haven't even been trained by me, so there's no reason to put it on there.
Right, and half the time I always feel like if you didn't breed it, like sometimes, you know, like some people put brands on them, but like sometimes I'm like, but if you didn't breed it, you know, because brands are usually from the breeder.
Exactly. Like, I see so many, and then they have the breeder's brand and then trainer's brand. There's nothing wrong with that, but then I'm like,
no,
there's a lot of brands on that horse.
Right? No, I have several that have 2, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how many brands are you gonna put?
Right.
Like, that's a lot of brands. I saw one horse one time at a barrel race that had a brand, and it had been, like, you could see where it had been tried to do 4 or 5 times on its hip, and it was all, like, smeared and stuff, and then it had a perfect one on its, like, shoulder.
Maybe they
and I was like, I was like, I guess they were moving. That one was moving a little bit.
Yeah.
For them. Okay, let me see. Do you plan on going to the pro rodeo?
So, it depends on when I turn of age. If I have a rodeo horse, I am 100% going to go rodeo and see if I can make it to the NFL. But if I do not have a rodeo horse, I'm not going to waste my time.
Right. If you don't have
but
one,
I know
you think do it.
At least I will rodeo at least a little bit because, I mean, everybody has. Why not me?
Mhm. Okay, let me see. Okay, this one I just thought was kind of funny because you're always doing them. How did you, like, get to where you just leg lift, like, every run?
Okay, so I was traumatized when I went over the other side, so I stopped. But then
I don't blame you. That was terrifying.
Yeah, and then I started hitting barrels, and I was like, well, gosh, Wayne has gotten snappier. I have to figure it out. But it's kind of just muscle memory now. If I look down and I'm on top of the barrel, I'm moving my leg. You kind of just know to go into it if you're going to need to or not.
Yeah. You kind of can tell usually.
Yeah. But, you know, of course, I'm hardly thinking in my run. I'm just up there.
Right. Just doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tall or short horses? What do you like better?
Oh, tall horses. I want tall horses, but I only have short horses besides Harper. But I definitely prefer. Huh?
Harper's pretty tall.
Yeah, I think she's like 15'2", which is fine for me. I like that height. But I definitely want some taller horses.
Right. Okay. Worst injury you've ever had a horse get? Like, what's the worst thing you've had a horse do to themselves? Because you know they're accident prone.
So Smooch, she tore a ligament in her tissue in her ankle, and that was pretty bad because, you know, she never came back. So she kind of like, nobody knows how it happened. You never really knew, but it just tore in the tissue lower in the foot, and it's just never healed.
Never got better. Yeah. You think it will?
I mean, not really, but she's not hurting. She's not limping, but I know if I got back on her, it would hurt her.
Right. Okay. Have you ever tried to ride English? Have you ever done anything like that?
I have. I took lessons for probably 6 months when I was younger, but then COVID hit, and then I stopped.
I guess you're glad you did, huh?
Yeah, I was only doing it because my mom and Trisha was like, there's a lot you can learn from that side of the horse riding, a lot with your position and where you ride and where you put your shoulders. So I definitely learned something there, but I could have definitely learned it from just riding Western, but I'm glad I did it.
I feel like you can learn about your seat and everything. Like a
yes,
lot about
I definitely
that, you know, having a good
because it has me like position my shoulders and my heel, and I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Right, and you don't even have a saddle horn, so like you have to have good position.
Right.
Like you have no choice to have good position or fall off.
Yeah, that's all you got. Go.
Yeah, those are your choices. What's your favorite bloodline?
I don't really have a favorite. I just like what wins and what has a good mind.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I feel like when you overbreed them to run barrels, like they're gonna get so fast we can't stay on them, y'all.
Oh, that would be funny.
Like I'm like, in 10 more years, if we keep breeding NFR horses to NFR horses, we're gonna be flying off the back. They're gonna be running like 80 miles an hour.
You gotta get that sticky spray and put it in your seat.
Okay, let me see. Do you use spurs or do you not use spurs?
No, I don't use spurs. I don't even own a pair of spurs because I've never really needed them.
All right, what's the worst horse wreck you've had?
It was just this year. So we were running out. We had a pretty good run. I hit the second, but it was really fast. And then I came out, and so it's a really tiny pin, and then when you come out of the alley, there's little holding pins, and then a really long alley. So I came out, and I was just, like, coasting it out. And then he saw the long alley and was, like, hesitant about it. So then he ran to the corner right in front of the long alley in the little warm-up area. So he hit the corner, went up, and fell over.
Oh.
And then I, freed myself. And then I was yelling at everybody, he's a stallion, can you please catch him? And they were worried about me, and I'm like, please, go get him.
Go get him.
So I had some people, block off the exit, and he went in a corner.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But that was,
away.
Yep. That was not fun. And that was, one of the only times my mom was not back there with me.
Of course it was.
More stressful for me.
Right.
Chasing after my stallion.
Right. Of course it was when you're out there chasing your stallion down in the parking lot.
And then I was, limping back to my trailer.
Oh, my gosh. No, that sounds like something that would happen to me, honestly. Okay. You have any final thoughts? Anything you want to add? Anything you want to talk about?
Not really. I'm really happy and excited that you started this, though. I think it's going to be really fun.
I'm excited. Okay. Well, thank you for joining, and thank you to everybody listening, and make sure y'all come back for more, and thank you for being here.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I had fun.
Yeah, me too. I haven't talked to you on the phone in forever.
Yeah, I know, right? We need to do that more.
Right?
Last time was when I called you to tell you about that WCRA where they were doing the barrels at the same time.
Exactly.
It was so wild. Anyway, thank you for joining.